Day 10 is called Hoof It. All right. You all arrive at a lava production facility on a floating island in the sky. As you others begin to search the massive industrial complex, you feel a small nose boop your leg and look down to discover a reindeer wearing a hard hat. The antecedent of look down is small nose. So it looks like it sounds like the small nose is booping your leg and looking down. You feel a small nose boop your leg. You look down to discover a reindeer wearing a hard hat. The reindeer is holding a book titled Lava Island Hiking Guide. However, when you open the book, you discover that most of it seems to have been scorched by lava. Oh no. As you're about to ask how you can help, the reindeer brings you a blank topographic map of the surrounding area and looks up at you excitedly. Perhaps you can help fill in the missing hiking trails. The topographic map indicates the height at each position using a scale from 0 to 9. Okay. Based on unscorched scraps of the book, you determine that a good hiking trail is as long as possible and has an even gradual uphill slope. All right. For all practical purposes, this means that the hiking trail is any path that starts at height 0, ends at height 9, and always increases by a height of exactly 1. Oh, okay. All right. So we're just doing a search. Hiking trails never include diagonal steps, only up, down, left, or right from the perspective of the map. You look up from the map and notice that the reindeer has helpfully begun to construct a small pile of pencils, markers, rulers, compasses, stickers, and other equipment you might need to update the map with hiking trails. How kind. A trailhead is any position that starts one or more hiking trails. Here, these positions will always have a height 0. Assembling more fragments of pages, you establish that a trailhead score is a number of 9 height positions reachable from that trailhead via a hiking trail. The number of 9 height positions. Okay. So the number of 9s that you can reach from 0. I think I understand. Position mark dot are impassable tiles. This trailhead has a score of 2 because it can reach 2 different 9s. Okay. This trailhead has a score of 4 because every 9 is reachable. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you get there, it just matters how many 9s you can find. I think I understand what to do. Let me get my input. It's 47 lines long. It should be pretty easy to parse, right? We could just create a grid of vec of they're all single digits, so we can stick them in U8s. Let lines equals AOC lib read lines of the input file. And then the grid is just going to be for line in lines, grid push, line, chars, map, ch as U8 minus B0. Collect. And we should have 47 at the end. Self-grid, of course. 47, perfect. Okay. So now we need to just search the grid. I think, the grid is very small, right? It's 47 lines long and it's not very wide. So if I just do a brute force search for all the zeros, let's save rows and cols. For 0, row in 0 dot rows for col. And then I can play around with this later to make it more functional. Self. Keep forgetting the self. If self grid row col is equal to 0, then we'll say total plus equals self count paths from row col. And then we'll output the total. And of course, we have to actually create the total. And then we'll create a count paths function. Generate count paths method. There it is. And it's going to return a usize, and it's going to return 0 for now. All right. So now we have a starting position. Mod stack is equal to vec new. Let mut visited equals hash set new. And it's just a standard old thing. Let mut found equals 0. Stack push. I'm going to use I64 as row, as I64 call, as I64. That way I don't have to worry about subtraction and whatnot. I know there's the wrapping thing, but I'm just going to do it this way. And then levels should be 0. Those are things I'm going to push on here. And then we'll say while let some RC level equals stack pop. We're going to do the work. And then we're going to return found. And then Scoop suggests that I might want to set rows and calls at some point. You're absolutely right. Self rows equals lines len. Self calls equals line 0 len. That would help. Let's pull in hash set. What else is? Oh. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. And we'll say if visited insert RC, we're only going to visit each location once, and they always have the same level. So it should be fine. The only reason I'm putting the level in here is to make the thing easier. I only have to look it up once. If level equals 9, found plus equals 1, continue. All right, we found a 9. Otherwise, we're going to look up, down, left, right. For dir in, let's say up, down, left, and right. We're going to create a new row column. Yeah, r equals r plus dir 0. Let c equals c plus dir 1. If r is less than 0, or c is less than 0, or r is as I64. R is greater than or equal to self rows, or C is greater than or equal to self calls. Continue. Otherwise, we're going to push, stack push, RC level plus 1. That's pretty straightforward, right? I'm going to quit out of this in case I created an infinite loop. Oh, right. Usize. Oh. What am I doing here? Oh, this is a usize, yeah. Oh, did I? Right. Because I had it generate the function signature and it was usizes at the time. Okay. Cargo run. 7283. Is that right? Oh, it's too high. Okay, let's see what we did wrong. I mean, it all seems pretty straightforward. Maybe this shadowing business is throwing me off. Let's call it new row. New call. Problem is not in the code, it's the reading of the question. Thank you. We're adding up how many, right? And did I do that for part 1? Where's part 1? Yeah, we're adding them up. Adding up the number of paths we could find. Okay. And we're only visiting each location once. Oh, thank you, Scoops. So this is going to be if self grid new row as usize new call as usize equals level +1. Then we do this. 512. That's a bit smaller. Hey, that's the right answer. Thanks for... I think I would have gotten there eventually. I'd like to believe I would have gotten there eventually, but I do appreciate the help. All right. Good. 512 is the right answer. Let's check in with Clippy. Cargo... No, Bacon. Clippy? Oh. Oh, yeah. This is before I switched everything over. Okay. Good. And run 512. Good. Git status, git add source, git commit -m 2024 day 10 part 1. All right. That was relatively easy. I'm still waiting for the difficulty to ramp up. Maybe part 2 is going to be really... okay. Part 2. The reindeer spends a few minutes reviewing your hiking trail map before realizing something. Disappearing for a few minutes and finally returning with yet another slightly charred piece of paper. The paper describes a second way to measure the trailhead called its rating. Trailhead's rating is the number of distinct hiking trails which begin at that trailhead. The above map has a single trailhead with its rating is 3. Oh, okay. So now we're just counting how many ways we can get there. All right. So part 1 was how many 9s can you get to? And part 2 is how many ways can you get to each 9? This map contains a single trailhead with a rating of 227 because there are 121 distinct hiking trails to lead the 9 on the right and 106 that lead to... Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is another thing where we stick in a Boolean for part 2. Let's say ignore visited. Right? And then we can just stay for part 2 here. We don't want to ignore the visited. And part... Yeah, I'm going to switch this around. I'm going to simplify this code. I just want to get the answer, and then we'll simplify the code. 512, and if I switch this to true, we get 1045, and we put in 1045, and yeah. Okay. Wow. There are days like this. I do remember from previous years, there are days like this where part 2 is just a minor tweak on part 1, so it's very, very easy to get that done.